Yeah, I imagine it works in some system, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where like you get more stars and you're more wanted. I think he needs to commit more crimes, like the Knightmare, in order
is that what Grand Theft Auto is about? Like
getting stars.
About like a yearning desire to be wanted.
Don't we all? Isn't that just that's a deeply rooted human desire?
Yeah, just feel so unwanted, and
right.
Grand Theft Auto is about how you.
It's just that's the thing is it's just a bunch of lonely people, all trying to get by. I think that's the message. That's the message of Grand Theft Auto.
I bought one of those games and I kind of tried to play it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Well, I mean, so I've owned like 2 of those games. I bought like Grand Theft Auto 3 when I was like far too young to have it, probably. And there is like I think a plot or something, but I never did. Like maybe occasionally I would try and do that, but I would just like, I basically had like the same routine where like I would just like steal somebody's car and I'd drive it around until it exploded. And then I would repeat that process, and I just had fun doing that. And so you kind of just repeat that, and then like it usually ended for me with some kind of like standoff between me and the police, and eventually the police would kill me. And then I just kind of rinsed and repeated, and until I got bored, and then I stopped playing it. But as I understand it, there is some kind of plot that you can, if you like talk to the right people, they'll give you things to do. But I don't know.
Well, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So I couldn't say.
Yeah, it's kind of how I am with the one Assassin's Creed game that I bought.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the reason I buy the game is to do parkour in revolutionary Boston or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's a good use of your time.
I think so. Anyhow. I'm Tom Dickinson.
And I'm Louis Midas.
And this is The Cloister Room,
a podcast about Doctor Who and other things.
So the woman who lived, I keep screwing up the names of these episodes.
Well, right. Well, she didn't, because at no point does she die in this episode. That's how I remember it.
But I keep saying like the girl who lived and the woman who died.
Yeah,
I don't know.
In the fireplace.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, they are so like these freaking synonym titles, just really messing with everything. I mean, maybe this is why the titles are always so different.
Yeah.
You know? It's so that you can't confuse them. Ugh, it's the worst.
I think the next 2-parter is going to be even worse.
Yeah, well, right, because it's just the Zygon invasion versus the Zygon inversion.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the issue, is like, unless there's like some serious inverting going on, you're not going to be able to keep those straight.
And that actually, I mean, to get ahead of ourselves, that is another example of titles changing prior to broadcast.
Oh, really?
Because that was initially announced as Invasion of the Zygons and Inversion of the Zygons.
Oh.
And this is like the vampires. I don't even know what the title of that episode is, because the Vampire Venice one.
Right.
Because I still can't keep it straight, because during the run-up to it being broadcast, various different versions of Vampires in Venice, The Vampires of Venice, The Vampires in Venice were used. So I forget which one was finally used.
Yeah, I think I'm like pretty sure it's The Vampires of Venice, or that's just the title of the track on the Series 5 soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
It might be. I know that there is a song on the soundtrack called The Vampires of Venice, but that's...
And I'm sure it has the.
I am 100% sure it has the.
Okay.
So I don't know, but...
The woman who lived.
The woman who lived.
Did you like this episode?
I loved this episode.
I liked it too. Did it redeem the previous episode, which you didn't didn't think you'd know whether you liked it until you'd seen this.
I think it did. I actually do think it did. Because I can sort of see now that, like, I think this episode was good because it really did build upon last week's episode. Even though, like, last week's episode was, like, mostly standalone. But, like, it does kind of feel like almost... Like, I could almost see these not being a two-parter. Like, I could see, like, last week's episode just being, like, an episode in, like, Series 9 or whatever. And then, like, have this week's episode be, like, an episode from, like, Series 11 or something. Like,
yeah, there's no reason these episodes had to come one after the other.
Right.
Like, I mean, we haven't seen the Zygon two-parter, but I mean, they could have been broken up.
Right. Well, right. It's kind of like, it's kind of like you don't see Captain Jack after Parting of the Ways until Utopia,
unless you watch Torchwood.
Right. So it's that same kind of thing where it's an immortal character who pops back up again. And presumably, I mean, I guess from the Doctor's perspective, it potentially has been quite some time since the Doctor last saw a Shielder or me. But for us, it's just been a week.
Right. Yeah, and it's a little confusing at the beginning of the episode because it's not incredibly clear where Clara's gone.
Right. Did the Doctor? I couldn't. I have a lot of beefs with Xbox Video, which is, where I purchased these episodes, so this is how I'm kind of watching them. But there were no subtitles for this episode.
Yeah, we had on iTunes there continued to be bad subtitles.
Okay, but I was trying to listen to what the Doctor said happened to Clara. Did he say that she took a year off to go learn Taekwondo? Is that what he said?
It sounded to me something like she took a year's severance.
Severance
to learn Taekwondo.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Like severance pay?
Yeah.
I didn't think she got paid.
I didn't think so either. I thought the Doctor was just a hobby.
Right. I mean, you can make money from your hobbies, I think, but like...
That's true.
I didn't think that was the case.
No.
Huh, alright. Yeah, so I don't... And does it take a year to learn Taekwondo?
I don't know. I don't know any martial arts at all.
I mean, I feel like a martial artist would probably condescendingly tell me that it takes a lifetime to learn. Or to a lifetime to master, maybe.
Well, it takes 10,000 hours to learn any skill or to master any skill.
Right.
According to Malcolm Gladwell, and also according to a Shielder here.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe Malcolm Gladwell got that from her.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, I remember it was funny because when they said the thing about the bootstrap paradox, that's something that you've used that phrase quite a few times, like at least 2 or 3 times on this show. Mm-hmm. Prior to it being used in Doctor Who.
Right.
And I've definitely referenced the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever referenced it on this show, but I have referenced it on the chapter titles were so good.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess this was my turn.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So maybe do you think that like the writers of Doctor Who are listening to the podcasts that you are on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
I think it's got to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in any case, yeah, she's Clara's not around. She's busy.
Yeah, she's out. Yeah, and so this is the. So I guess they're kind of getting back to the having episodes where it's like Clara Light or Doctor Light. I mean, I guess because like last season there was Flatline sort of seemed Doctor Light.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there was like a Clara Light episode.
That would be Mummy on the Orient Express.
Was it real? Oh yeah, she was trapped in a car for most of it.
Yeah. Well, the whole Doctor Light, Clara Light, or Doctor Light and Companion Light paradigm that kind of comes from the RTD era, right? Which is the whole notion of they film a certain number of episodes per year, but for efficiency's sake, they double book some of them, or so I don't know. For some reason, it makes sense for them to do these light episodes. But I feel like in the Moffat era, it's become less noticeable,
right?
Like because the Doctor is still definitely a presence throughout Flatline,
yeah,
and Clara is throughout Mummy on the Orient Express. It just happens that in Flatline, most of the Doctor scenes are filmed on the TARDIS, and in Mummy on the Orient Express, Clara spends most of the episode locked in a single room,
right?
So it just they spend less time filming with the actors in the same way, but they've instead of just writing them out of the episodes as a gimmick, they come up with ways to make smarter use of their limited time with them.
Yeah.
Except in this case, they just write Clara out until the end.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And so, so I'm kind of wondering which episode do we have coming up that's going to be a Dr. Light episode? And I mean, I guess how light will the Doctor be?
I don't know, but there are rumors about a really odd format for some of the upcoming episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to say more than that, because I don't know if you want to be spoiled, but...
I guess I don't want to be spoiled. It's very, do I want to be spoiled?
Yeah, I'm not even sure which episode this is, but...
Oh, okay. You know what? Go ahead and spoil me.
Yeah, so... There's just a rumor that there's an episode that's going to feature Capaldi and no one else.
Oh.
Just Capaldi and no other actors at all.
Interesting.
So that would be another Clara Light episode, I guess.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Is Clara really busy? Or is Clara leaving? Because that's the thing is, like, we don't really know when Clara is leaving. We just know that Jenna Coleman is leaving at the end is leaving at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be so weird to get a companion leave halfway through. Well, I mean, I guess technically the Pawns left halfway through Series 7, but like
halfway through a run.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be. I think it'd be interesting because it's just something they haven't done.
It's true, and and that's the thing is like they've been playing with so many other kinds of changes and stuff like that between like split series and no two-parters and all two-parters and things like that. Why not have a companion leave halfway through? That could be a thing.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the seasons tend to feel like some kind of cohesive whole.
Right.
And I'd be kind of interested, all right, if the companion leaves halfway through, what other means are you going to use to make it feel like a cohesive whole?
Right.
And they might very well come up with something else that's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, in any case, I obviously like Clara a lot, and I'm sad that she's leaving the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't exactly say that I missed her in this episode.
Right.
Because I don't think the episode would have worked with her in it.
No, it really seemed like the Doctor needed some time with a shielder to sort of like work stuff out. And like just like because you really want to see, you really do want the focus to be on her and like to sort of like explore what happened to her and what she's like now and how immortality has changed her for the better or worse. And if obviously like the companion could kind of sub in for some of that, like have some dialogue. Like Clara could ask some of these questions of a shielder just as easily as Capaldi did, but I mean, like I think it's, I don't know. I like the focus being more just on her.
Yeah, and there's also a prominent part of the episode which is kind of like talking about Clara behind her back.
Well, that's true. That is true.
So I thought so. Even though she wasn't in the episode very much, there was still like a sense of her importance and what she means to the Doctor and everything.
Well, right, yeah, because this is just kind of like immortal time. Like we're just like, it's just like bonding time between immortal people. Not to say that either one of them could live forever. I mean, they could live forever, but like that's not to say that they will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because they have different perspectives on things, and and that's a big part of this episode is they're the Doctor, who's still much older than a shielder, is sort of going on about what it's like and so yeah, I just think like having a mortal person would just kind of slow things down. I don't know, because there wouldn't be that full understanding that there is between the 12th Doctor and a shielder. So.
Yeah. So since this episode is, I feel like the main deal with this episode is just the character of a shielder or Lady Me or however we want to call her.
Yeah.
So how did you like the character?
I thought she was really interesting. I really liked her.
Yeah, I thought Maisie Williams' performance here, especially when you take it in the context of her performance last week, it was absolutely incredible. She was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, because you could sort of still see how she sort of had that sort of, like, she still maintained some of the same traits that she had last week, that sort of quickness to action or whatever, and the kind of, I don't know, like the creativity and things like that and stuff, but it's built upon because she's like now sort of like tormented by this idea that she's lived so long, and she can't even remember most of it, and it's so fascinating that like she's sort of taken on this sort of, I don't know, this sort of remoteness that's just really kind of, I don't know, it was so cool to watch. I really liked that.
Yeah, I just thought the scenes, basically the entire first half of the episode is just like one long argument between her and the Doctor.
Right.
And it's just so. I just think everything about it, from the dialogue to the concepts to the acting on both sides, is just so perfect.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really like about it is I feel like when the 12th Doctor first started, he was kind of a dick.
Right.
And he's much less of one now.
Right.
And she kind of reminds me a little bit of the early 12th Doctor.
Interesting.
And it's interesting to think about the fact that the 12th Doctor, I mean, that's after he's just been granted the new regeneration cycle.
Right.
So is there kind of like a parallel there with, like, this is after she gets granted immortality?
Right. Yeah, and I could see that being a thing where, like, you know, you're kind of grappling with this new thing that you weren't really made to, or you weren't expecting, and you weren't, like, necessarily designed for, or whatever. I mean, like, I'm assuming that, like, Time Lords getting a new regeneration cycle is kind of an unnatural thing.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be portrayed that way. But yeah, so, like, yeah, kind of coming to terms with this newfound immortality or whatever. You know, I imagine that would kind of make you kind of a jerk for a bit, I imagine.
Yeah, and in the moment where she has her big change of heart, where she realizes that she actually does care what happens to the people, the Doctor says this line, like, I forget the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, "You think you don't care, and then you get back on the wagon."
Right.
Something like that. And then I was like, these two have so much in common. And it's so, I mean, on the one hand, you want to just write her off as being like a villain because she just killed Sam Swift, essentially.
Right.
But I don't know. I just love the notion that he's looking out for her because he kind of sees himself in her. Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's kind of the thing is, and, you know, and that's, you know, we don't really see much of, well, I guess we see flashbacks of this for a Shielder, but, like, you know, like, this seems to be kind of the pattern, at least with the Doctor, where, like, you know, he cares, you know, he's sort of aloof, he starts to care about a person, and then something terrible happens where they die, or they get trapped in a parallel universe, or, you know, they lose all their memories or whatever, and then, you know, he's kind of moody for a bit, and then he realizes he needs to care again or whatever. And so we see that same sort of that same sort of like journey for her, where, you know, she loses her kids, she vows never to have kids again. Not to say that, like, she doesn't end this episode with, like, saying she wants to have kids or whatever. She's probably over that for good, I'm guessing. But she does realize she needs to care again, and she needs to have, maybe not, like, people in her life, but she does need to care about the people that surround her. So yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, like, you'd think that kind of story would get repetitive in Doctor Who, but I mean, like, I still like it. And I still, because I like the idea of people coming around to the idea that they need to care.
Yeah.
And I think that's a positive message, you know, if nothing else.
Yeah, it is. And I do think this is different enough from, like, it's not the same as Jack, really. It's not the same story.
That's true.
And it's like, it's a new thing that we've never seen the story told in quite this way.
That's true. Well, right, because, you know, yeah, that's the thing is, you know, like, this is really like the slow path kind of thing, where, you know, I mean, Captain Jack to a lesser extent, because he I mean, you know, he can sporadically time travel if he wants, or you know, if the plot calls for it. But, like, this is like a person stuck in history, and there's no broader perspective, really. Like, I mean, Captain Jack before becoming immortal was a time traveler, and presumably he went to other planets too, I'm assuming. I don't know that for a fact, but he certainly dealt with, I don't know, alien stuff or whatever. But, like, a Shielder's really just, like, she's just, like, stuck in her time and place, or, well, she's stuck in her place anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not like the same thing where it's like, oh, I've seen the wonders of the universe or whatever. It's like, she hasn't. She's just kind of stuck here in medieval times or whatever. I don't know.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a much different thing, I think. So yeah, it's not to say that, like, this is all. It's not like we've seen this before necessarily, but
no, and also we don't see a lot of the Middle Ages in New Who.
That's true.
Like, the previous episode took place in the early Middle Ages, and this takes place in the late Middle Ages. Mm-hmm. And would the 17th century still be the Middle Ages? I guess not.
No, I guess not.
No, but I mean, you see that she has lived through the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
A period, and she says that, you know, the Doctor makes a big impact on the world. I'm kind of like, really? What is it he did during the Middle Ages? I mean, because he barely ever goes there. It's usually like Elizabethan, and then Victorian,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
That's really true. Yeah, it's funny because you'd think that the Middle Ages would be rife with things that the Doctor could fix. I mean, like maybe that's who knows what kind of alien invasions could have happened in that era. Probably loads. Well, and that's the thing is, certainly enough that he's on a wanted poster. I
thought he was on the wanted poster for robbing those people.
Oh, is that
at
why?
the beginning of the episode? That's what I thought it was.
Oh, I missed that. If that was the case.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit confused about that, and it was on second viewing I kind of came to the decision that that's what it was about, because everyone seems to know who he is, and Sam Swift seems to know who he is. And, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Yeah. Well, and it also explains why the bounty is only £20.
Yeah.
You get. I think it works. I imagine it works in some system, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where like you get more stars and you're more wanted. I think he needs to commit more crimes, like the Knightmare, in order.
Is that what Grand Theft Auto is about? Like
getting stars?
It's about like a yearning desire to be wanted. The robbery scene was so hilarious.
Oh my god! I like the dialogue in this episode was so spectacular. I loved like just every bit of it.
Fish passing in the night.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't listening. Let me try again, or whatever, however he says that.
Yeah, and I think this was an episode where you kind of need the dialogue to be excellent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it wasn't action packed. It was all just very talky.
Yeah.
But I love that because it's not every episode of Doctor Who that you get that, and I like the variety. So a nice talky one is good.
Yeah, I liked later in when they were housebreaking or whatever, and the Doctor is saying that humans need shared experiences, and she says, "I'm regretting sharing this one." It was so great. And like, I'm an undercover detective from Scotland Yard. Do you have Scotland Yard yet?
Yeah.
So good.
And I just think a shielder / whatever got so many great lines.
Yeah.
Like she gets to be the funny one a lot of the time.
Yeah.
She gets to make the kind of snarky remarks that are usually reserved for the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just so wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, and sharing is what robberies are all about.
Yes.
Oh, so good. But yeah. So I mean, like, and so if Catherine Shagena wants to come back and write more Doctor Who, I'm all for that. Because like
absolutely.
Yeah, I just thought like the dialogue here was so great, and I loved the way that Sam Swift the Quick. I loved him, and I loved his dialogue and like his banter.
He got some surprisingly dirty jokes for Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was surprised. I'm sure it was just vague enough that it went over kids' heads, but like, yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know there was some controversy about the Witch's Familiar having the word bitch in it.
Oh yeah, right.
And I wonder whether this will be similarly controversial, but I don't know. It's no worse than like what you would hear in a Shakespeare play.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I feel like that's my rubric, especially for something that's set during this time period.
If it's as long as it's less dirty or as dirty as Shakespeare, it gets a pass.
I'd say so.
I think that's fair. Yeah, like that did surprise me. I mean, like, I could see that being controversial though, but I enjoyed it.
How did you like the Lion King?
No, is he the same species as from the Fourth Doctor story that I can't remember the title of?
That's from Warrior's Gate. You're thinking of Birak the Tharl.
Oh, yes, right. So it's different species?
He is not, because he says he's from Theta Leonis or something like that.
Oh, right.
And, I mean, he's apparently not from E-Space.
Oh, right, because he'd have to be.
Although he might be related to them. I don't know. But I thought he was kind of... he was fine.
He was fine. I mean, like, that's the thing, is he's kind of like this generic... alien that doesn't really have to be all that special because the episode's not really about him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the giant evil alien chicken in the Van Gogh episode.
Right, yeah. Like, what even was that? I mean,
Crephaeus, was that what it was called?
Yeah, Crephaeus. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, but at least they didn't like say it was a Time Lord legend or anything.
Right. Yeah, because that'd be a bit much. Yeah, I mean, like, it was kind of cool. He can breathe fire. That's pretty awesome. I mean, fire-breathing dragon alien.
It could have been anything, though.
Yeah, he really could have been. I mean, like, yeah, it was just like, this is the alien that's going to help Ashildr / Lady Me / the Knightmare escape. So yeah, it's not like it matters all that terribly, like what he was or what his deal was, just that he was tricking her.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he's got that same kind of look about him. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I mean, maybe it was the outfit that sort of helped with that, but yeah, you're right. It did seem a little Beauty and the Beastie.
Mm-hmm. I was half expecting like the Mire to show up again.
Well, right, because they just kind of left,
and they did kind of say, "Oh, we shall meet again."
Right.
Which is, I guess, that's just a generic villain thing to say.
Right. I think you gotta say that. I think that's in the handbook. Is that you just, whenever you're escaping from the doctor, you just shake your fist and say, "We will meet again." I think that's in there.
Yeah, it's a rule, but I maybe they will show up at some point. But I don't know. I was expecting them to like come back for their alien tech or whatever.
Well, right. Yeah, because they left that tech behind, and that's not good.
No, but one thing I kind of wonder is like, are they immortal?
Well, I mean, either they're immortal or like there's something about their biology that's like several orders of magnitude like more like energy consuming, that like to like heal them of like from like a scrape or something involves like what it would take to bring every cell in a human back to life or something. Like maybe like their metabolism is like off the charts or off our charts, but it's on their charts.
Maybe it's because of all the adrenaline and testosterone or whatever.
I
don't know science, so
right. Who knows what testosterone does to you? Nothing good, probably. Baldness, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think they had any hair.
No, they certainly didn't.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's testosterone that gives you like male-pattern baldness, right? Like that's a thing.
I assume so.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why it's men that get it, I think.
That's why it's men.
That's why it's men. Anyway, yeah. So I think. So yeah, I imagine that something was up with their biology, that like they just have like a really high need for whatever energy, something. Who knows? But yeah, because that's the thing, is you'd think like if they just have these little chip things inside their helmets that repair them, and have like spares, I guess. Like I mean, because you'd think that one of those things, if it were like an immortality granting thingy, you'd think they wouldn't need two of them. But maybe. But yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming that they use them up, kind of like how here the doctor comes up with this excuse where like, Sam Swift is probably not immortal because the amulet probably was enough to bring him back to life, but not enough to make him immortal or whatever he says. The generic explanation that we just kind of have to accept or whatever.
Or do we? I mean, because he doesn't even. It doesn't even seem like he believes it that much. That
he's immortal, or that he's not immortal.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, because he says, like, she says, "Did you just make that up?" And she says, "Yeah," and then he says, "Yeah, I did." So
well,
he seems unsure.
Right. He absolutely. Yeah. It's entirely possible that Sam Swift is immortal. But yeah. So yeah. We can't really say. It's impossible to know. But I mean, if he's not immortal, then it would kind of make sense that like, oh yeah, it's this thing that was trying to kill him, and it's like unstoppable force meets immovable object, where like, okay, well, this is an amulet that literally causes death, and this is a repair chip thingy that like causes infinite life. So just kind of cancel each other out. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. That beam did change from purple to orange, which
purple is the color of death.
Right, and I don't know how much sense that. Like, I mean, all right. I mean, so hang on. If I'm recalling correctly, mauve is the color for danger.
I believe that's established in The Empty Child.
Right, and red is camp.
Red is what?
Camp.
Camp.
Isn't that what the doctor says?
Does he say that?
He says it's the intergalactic something, the intergalactic symbol or whatever for camp.
I don't remember.
I am going to bring up the dialogue. Give me 1 second. What's the emergency? It's mauve. Mauve, the universally recognized color for danger. What happened to red? That's just humans. By everyone else's standards, red's camp. Oh, the misunderstandings. All those red alerts, all that dancing.
So red isn't a symbol of camp. They just think it is campy.
Oh, they think it's campy. I got it. Oh, see, I am misunderstanding.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not like this is a good place to camp.
But okay, yeah, no, absolutely not.
In the previously opening for the Doctor dances,
Yeah,
Eccleston just says without context, "It's mauve and dangerous."
I love that.
Which is incomprehensible unless you remember that line.
Right.
It doesn't it doesn't mean anything. If you haven't seen the episode, good luck. Even if you have, though, you've probably the likelihood that you remembered that one-off joke is not super high. So he just says, "It's mauve and dangerous."
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so do you think that the mauve color symbol for danger comes from the idea that purple is the whatever universally recognized color of death? Mauve and purple are kind of close, right?
Yeah, they're sibling colors, I'd say. Cousin colors, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I'd say that's probably true.
Yeah, so I mean, which just it makes sense, and it really makes for a much richer Doctor Who universe. That we have this sort of cohesive, established color symbolization or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think and so who knows what orange means? I don't know where that fits in.
I think he says something like the golden light of immortality.
Is that really what he says? Did I miss that?
Doesn't he say that?
I don't know. I didn't have subtitles. That could very well be. So okay. So immortality is like golden.
Which would make sense because that's what color regeneration energy is in the new series.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that golden is it's not like a natural feature. It's just an intentional, like a tint that Rassilon put on it when he invented regeneration, just to make things clear.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I wonder what the other colors are. We've established gold and mauve.
It's taken 10 years to get from mauve to purple, so it may be a while before we find out more.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because I really want to know. I really want to have a comprehensive spectrum of symbolized colors.
Well, yeah, because we're supposed to recognize these.
Right, exactly. That's the thing that kind of scares me a little bit is how come humans are the only ones who aren't tuned into this stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a good thing we now know about mauve.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that will allow us to see when danger is happening.
Exactly.
So it won't matter that we lost our danger sense as babies. Because all we have to do is look out for mauve.
That's right. Exactly.
But what other colors are we missing?
Yeah, who knows? Well, yeah, and I think maybe are there mauve poison tree frogs or what is it? Poison dart frogs? Is that what they are? I don't know.
I don't know anything about frogs.
Well, I know that there are poison frogs out there, and I think.
Well, I guess I know that there are poison frogs, but I don't know anything about them other than the fact that they exist.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, it could just be that maybe there are on the covers of Lisa Frank notebooks, there would be maybe a mauve poison dart frog. I don't know, but I know
a lot of weird colored animals on those notebooks.
Right.
Those notebooks were not very accurate. I don't know if they're suitable for an educational setting.
Yeah, right. Certainly not for learning any kind of biology or animal kingdom stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unicorns. I don't think we can. I don't know if we have a definitive. I don't think the fossil record is complete yet for unicorns.
Right.
So I think
they're in the land of fiction. So.
Oh, that's right. Hey, yeah.
As you know from this episode we haven't released yet about the mind robber.
Right. Yeah.
Someday.
I'm worried we're building up this mind robber episode too much in our audience's mind. I don't remember what we really talked about.
Nor I, because it was months ago now. But someday it will come out.
Yes, someday it will come out.
It is on the schedule.
Yeah. So that means it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how the 12th Doctor has gone and turned his round things into amps.
Yeah, that's cool.
That seems very him. I like all the changes that the Doctor has done since he's become Capaldi.
Yeah, and it's not like with Matt Smith, where it's all of a sudden, oh, this is my outfit, this is my TARDIS, this is my sonic screwdriver, everything is set in place, and then that's how things are from here on out. With Capaldi, it's been like a slow, gradual, like he picks stuff up as he goes.
Yeah. That's really nice, because it's kind of like real people, where they just they decide they like things, and they don't do it for like, it's not like, oh, it's January 1st, 2015, time to pick up a new affectation. It's just like we like I have the same desktop computer I've had for 7 years, and it's probably going to be replaced soon. But I mean, like, in the span of the time that I've had this computer, I've also like bought a car, and like, and after this computer gets replaced, I'm still going to have the old car. And it's not like I line these things up. It's not like they snap to grid, and like it's like, oh, time for a new computer, new car, new printer. I don't know.
Yeah. New printer.
New printer. So yeah, so it makes much more sense that you don't like, I mean, unless your house burns to the ground and you have to get all new stuff and your insurance company pays for it. I mean, I guess that's kind of like what happened in the 11th hour, is like, the doctor had a complete loss. His TARDIS, the interior all burned.
Yeah, but the clothing was stolen from a hospital.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Your insurance company would probably frown upon that. Or at least
he keeps doing it, though. That's the third incarnation of the Doctor to have done that.
He never learns. Right. So it's the third Doctor, the 8th Doctor, and then the 11th.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's a quarter of your regenerations, Doctor. You've gone and you've stolen stuff from hospitals.
And we don't even know where the first Doctor got his clothes.
Yeah, he could have gone. Yeah, who knows? Some Gallifreyan hospital, maybe, or just. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. So, what do you think the TARDIS would have done if it had been responsible for giving him clothes? Like, well, I guess he does have.
Well, there is a TARDIS wardrobe.
That's right. He's got the wardrobe. Right, and we've seen that. So, it would look like the 10th Doctor, I guess, or you get something similar to the 10th.
Well, I mean, the 6th Doctor also did this TARDIS wardrobe.
Did he really? Oh, that explains so much.
Yeah, there's a scene in the 7th Doctor did too.
Ah. Oh, right. Yeah, he did. Huh. Yeah. Oh, do you think the TARDIS likes question marks? Do you think that's why? Do you think it just like generates clothing with question marks on it?
The 5th Doctor didn't. I don't think he quite did the wardrobe. I think he just found like in the hallway like those clothes hanging up. So yeah, it could just be that the TARDIS clothing likes question marks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because in Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, we see that there's this thingy that can just manufacture whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's the thing, is like anything that comes out of there has question marks on it somewhere. Like maybe that's how it's like a fingerprint. Like, oh, this was the TARDIS because it put question marks on it.
It's like the Apple logo.
Exactly. It's exactly like the Apple logo. Yeah. I think that's got to be it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes so much sense. Well, that's good. I'm glad we've established that.
Yeah, I do like the Doctor's guitar thing.
Oh yeah.
I just think that in general has been a fun addition this season.
Yeah, and you can really do a lot with it. You can, because he can be like moody or whatever, and he's just kind of like strumming on it moodily, and it's great. It's great. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a worthy addition. Yeah, and that's like the thing is like the 11th Doctor had his obsession with odd fashion choices and things, and the 12th Doctor's got his guitar, and like that's his jam.
Exactly.
And yeah, and I like that.
It's a jam.
It is a jam. I liked seeing the another detector gadget thingy.
What was it?
Curio scanner.
Or was it Curio Spotter? Was it?
I thought it was Scanner.
Or was it Scanner? Yeah, it was Scanner.
It's like it scans for curios. Oh, I just realized how it got its name.
I don't know. There's something about the way Capaldi delivers lines like that strikes me as very Tom Baker.
I was thinking that same thing,
and I love it.
I love it too. I think that's so great. Yeah. I really want Capaldi to stick around. I just love how I just love his performance. His performance here for sure, but just like a lot of his performances are this way, where he's so much fun. He's just so much fun.
Yeah, rumors abound, though, that there's going to be specials in 2016, and then that's going to be the end of him.
No.
Rumors.
No, I don't want to believe those rumors.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, I'm all right with just specials, I guess, but I want him to come out on the other side of it, not like, regenerated.
Yeah, and I'd also be interested to see a different showrunner, what they would do with his Doctor.
Yeah, that's the thing is, Moffat has been around for so long, and I mean, like, he's doing a fine job, I guess, but like, well, no, he is. But that's the thing is, like, I really would like to see another showrunner handle, just like, I want to see another showrunner handle Capaldi, because I mean, like, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. I mean, I think that was kind of like what everyone thought would happen was like Capaldi would be, it would be Stephen Moffat running Series 8, and then, he'd step down, and then, you'd have a new showrunner also with Capaldi, and that didn't happen. So, but yeah, so I mean, like, that's probably happened, like, during the classic series, right? Like, I mean, it hasn't happened with the new series.
Oh, yeah, many times.
Well, right, yeah, and so I feel like, let's get back to that. Let's see what a different showrunner does with the same Doctor. Like, I mean, we don't have to have these things, like, so tightly locked down, like, tied to, like, a specific showrunner. Like, I mean, obviously, like, yeah, like 9 and 10 are really tied to Russell T Davies, but I mean, like, and similarly with Matt Smith, but I mean, like, I would really like to see Capaldi with a different showrunner and see, like, what a different showrunner would do with Capaldi. There's no reason why not.
No reason whatsoever.
I'd like to see that. I don't know. I just want Capaldi to be on forever.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I mean, like, yeah, I guess it's fine that most Doctors of the new series have stayed on for like that same length of time, where it's like 3-ish seasons or so, and however many years that translates to. I guess it's fine, but like, I want to see someone break away from that, and I feel like Capaldi could do that. He absolutely could.
He could,
and I really want him to.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
We're now 6 episodes in. To a 12-episode series, so we're at the halfway point.
Oh, hey, wow. How about that?
Yeah. What do we think so far of the series as a whole?
I really like it so far.
Yeah, I think so far, on average, I'd have to say it's the best series of Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's my very strong proclamation.
Even like classic series included?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know how I don't know what the best seasons of the classic series are.
I really like season 2. I like season 7. I like season 13. I like season 26. But I do think this is better than them.
Yeah, wow. and if I remember correctly, you predicted that this season would not be so great.
Well, I didn't. It's not so much a prediction. It was more I noted the previous pattern of what I considered to be up years and down years, which I realized does not reflect anyone else's preferences but my own. But I have considered season 1 is an up year, 2 is a down year, 3 is an up year, 4 is a down year, 5 is an up year, 6 is a down year, but then 7 was another down year.
Right.
So 8 was an up year, and then I was saying I'm not sure whether we're now doing another up year or whether we've restored the alternating up year, down year.
Right. Yeah, well, that it makes more sense that 9 would be better, or 9 would be an up year, because we had 2 down years, so we doubled down. Now let's double up.
Yeah, double down, just like KFC. What I mean, because show me another season of Doctor Who where the first 6 episodes are on average as good as the first 6 episodes of this series.
Yeah,
I would venture to say that there isn't one.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, on the other hand, it's been 3 stories, but like, I mean, well, depending on, I mean, like, once again, I think that this week and last week could be more or less standalone. But I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, maybe Doctor Who should just get back to doing 2-parters. I mean, like, just like have that be like always be a thing. I mean, like, it worked out relatively well in the classic series, where they had multi-part stories. Like, let's keep this rolling, Let's just keep doing the multi-part stories. I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, you get to tell a more in-depth story. You get to develop your characters more. You get to have a more complex plot that doesn't feel rushed. It's so good. I don't know why they ever stopped.
And I think this, two-parter, or is it even really a two-parter? Is it two one-parters?
Right.
I mean, that's a semantic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shown that the format of a two-part story doesn't have to be restrictive.
Right.
It's because these are two very different stories by different writers that have different tones, mostly different characters, but do have a theme in common.
That's true. Yeah, and that's the thing is you get to do so. Yeah, it's it's just like infinitely more. It's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like you can tell like a really fantastic story or just a really weird story, using a two-parter, and you're not quite as limited. Like it's so good. It is so good.
But on the other hand, I do think they should kind of try to keep changing things up.
That's true. Well, yeah, and this is like this is a change-up that has gone phenomenally well. And I mean, maybe if we said, okay, now Doctor Who is just going to be nothing but two-parters from now on, maybe it would get stale again, and it probably would. But this is for sure a format change that has gone fantastically well for one reason or another. I mean, it could just be a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't think we would need a two-part version of Listen.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think we'd need a two-part version of The Caretaker or Kill the Moon or Mummy on the Orient Express. I think all of those stories work phenomenally well as one-parters.
True.
So I wouldn't want to commit to all right, two-parters forever. But I do think that mixing it up is a good thing, and I do think that having these back after such a long time where two-parters were not the norm anymore, and we assume that they were pretty much phased out.
Yeah.
Having them back is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny, the rationale for why they stopped doing them was, Stephen Moffat said that they don't actually save them money, which is what they kind of thought, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they were bad to have. But I mean, I think it's just important to keep switching things up, and I mean, obviously, switching, they were switching things up there where they just got rid of two-parters altogether and just stuck with one-parters, and that's fine. But yeah, it's good to have them back. And even if they don't save them money, at least they're still there's other appealing features of them. Except that I guess you do have that issue. I don't know if has it also been true that viewership has gone down for these two-parters, because I think that was one of the rationale. That was one of the pieces of rationale, was that the second week is always lower than the first.
I don't actually know. I do know that viewership in general is different than it has been in the past, with much more of it being digital.
Oh, right.
So I don't know about how it compares to the way two-parters have functioned in the past.
Oh, right.
But
right, because was iPlayer nearly as big of a thing during Series 5 or whatever?
It existed, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it was as much of a thing. It does look like before the flood, more people seem to have watched it than Under the Lake.
Huh.
Slightly.
You wouldn't think that would be possible. I mean, I guess it would be, but
well, why not?
Because wouldn't you need to see the first part? Or is this is incomplete data?
I guess it's incomplete. I mean, it's based on a sampling, but you don't have to see the first part.
I guess. Yeah, right. Because the last time montage, that's enough to clue you in. Unless the doctor's saying things like it's mauve and dangerous.
Yes.
But yeah. All right. Well, I guess it makes just about as much sense as anything.
I'm looking at the appreciation index now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's mostly it's 82s, 83s, and 84s.
Is that low?
It's about where it was last year.
Oh, okay.
Which was lower than it was during the 11th Doctor era and the RTD era.
Who
if you look at Series 4 is mostly 86 through 91.
Oh, wow. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's so fascinating to me that I don't know, I feel like this season is great. I mean, I don't know, I would be fascinated to know what these people dislike about it. Unless is it some kind of fatigue where
these are still excellent scores.
Well, all right, fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at what point do they fail? Is it 60 or below? Then that's the because I mean, obviously, this is what, a B plus, or no, a B.
I don't know.
Does it work differently in the UK? I don't know.
I think it's not right to think of them as tagged to number grades or tagged to academic grades.
Yeah. No, this is just it's a binary, right? Like is it just like liked or disliked? It's not like someone rated it 5 stars.
I don't know.
So is it like, right, is that saying like it's an index? I don't know. Like is it just saying that like 84% of the sample liked it as opposed to disliked it?
I think there might be a no. I think it's a number score.
Oh, okay. Which
Which means that it's hard to get in the 90s because you need basically everyone to be in the 90s.
Right.
In order to get in the 90s. But
right.
It's seeing on the Wikipedia page for Appreciation Index, on average, programs aired on BBC's 4 main television channels for the period of April to June 2013 received an AI rating of 82.3. And the average AI for a drama program on UK television channels BBC One and ITV1 was reported in 2009 to be 84. Programs with specialist appeal will often score higher ratings. Internal guidance to BBC production staff is that an AI of 85 or over is considered to be excellent. Over 90 is considered to be exceptional. 60 or less is poor, and less than 55 is very poor.
Well, right, because yeah. So that roughly does follow, except for, well, I guess it sort of trails off towards the top. But like, as far as like grading systems, that's about failing too.
Yeah, if you look at the classic series AIs, they were consistently pretty low compared to the new series.
Okay, so Doctor Who is not at risk of cancellation again. That's for sure.
Certainly not on basis of AI.
Right. Huh.
I mean, I don't know. People will like lament the fall in AI and the fall in viewers, but like it's in its 9th season, and it's been the fact that it's so consistent with the way it was before, with like a couple of points of AI drift, and the viewers are a little bit lower when most TV is getting lower viewership.
Right.
It's pretty impressive in my opinion. But
yeah. That's the thing is, like how many shows make it to their ninth season and are still like as fresh and well liked as this is. Like, I mean, I don't remember how many seasons like House ran for, but like I stopped watching House in like the 6th or 7th season, I think, or maybe there weren't that many seasons. I don't know, but I stopped watching towards the end because it just wasn't that interesting to me anymore. But I mean, like, yeah, how many shows like can maintain this kind of like level of excitement and energy?
Very few.
Yeah. So I sometimes wonder about how much longer this series will stay on the air. I mean, like, do you think it could last for another 26 seasons? Like, or like, not to say that like 26 plus 9, but like, do you think it could reach 26 again?
I don't know. That seems a bit of a stretch, but
yeah, that's a long time.
I do think it could last another 4 or 5 at least.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the 13th Doctor will be really terrible.
Could be.
The next showrunner could really take things off the rails, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, who knows?
The next showrunner is terrible.
Yeah, I think we could just say that. I think it's universally believed to be true. Yeah, if they ruin the Sonic sunglasses, then I'll just stop watching.
Absolutely. They're iconic.
They are. They really are.